Welcome here to Sonoma Raceway. We were supposed to be going to Willow Springs, but Willow Springs just did not work like we thought it was going to. And Jeffrey Lynn's really not getting up to the pace that he should be here. Now he's up with Richard Johnson. Jeffrey Lynn is the pole sitter for today's race. The Horizon Group Dodge here with Richard Johnson on his outside here. Johnson looking quick this weekend. Could he possibly go to victory lane? This is his final season. Jeffrey Lynn's going to lead them all down. Here we go. Green flag is out. And as they casually go up the hill here, it's a night race at Sonoma. Richard Johnson got clear of Jeffrey Lynn, the pole sitter, and Richard is out front right now. Richard Johnson up front leading right now over Nick Mays. Nick Mays needs to really rebound after last weekend there. Mays is really low in the points. He's last in the point standings of the Chasers right now. He needs to either win or really have a good run in here. And I'm pretty sure Nick's going to try and go after the win. He's got his good friend Richard Johnson up in front of him there, his old rival of the series. And I think it's pretty awesome to see Richard Johnson up front leading right now. It's only lap 1, but it's a very short race to say the least, only 15 laps. Completing lap number 1, Richard Johnson will lead that one. As we're looking back here at the rear of the field, this is Carson Scott's last race. And the number 97, Jesse Turner and Noah Hart in the 47 Toyota. Oh my goodness, Chasers are having problems. Noah Hart comes in this race outside of the cut line to move on to the next round. And Jesse Turner, you see where he got hit in the door there. Jesse Turner in the 17 Ford comes into this race second in the point standings. This is going to seriously hurt him. Looks like Jesse Turner and Noah Hart were both getting antsy trying to make passes down here in the last turn. And Turner just got into Max there. And it turned him down into Noah Hart. And they fell from 15th and 16th all the way to 41st and 42nd. And this is going to seriously hurt them in the title run here. As we look also back in the rear of the field, you see another few Chasers that aren't having the best of runs here. Zachary Fitzwater in number 8 Toyota here. He's in the chase right now to move on, but he cannot afford bad races here. Cars are off in the dirt there. That's Jeff James, another Chaser. Our point leader coming in this round here of Infineon here for Sonoma. Luke Martin up ahead as well, got problems. More problems for Jesse Turner, and it's in there with his teammate of Carson Scott. Turner, James, point leaders here, having problems. This is really going to bunch the point contenders up here. Jeff James and Luke Martin were doing battle there. Martin was trying to get past James, and Martin slid wide. Into Jeff James he went. And Luke Martin, the owner of that car, wrecked with Jeff James. And Luke Martin and Jeff James were looking good in the points coming into this race. Now, it's not going to look good for them, and seriously going to hurt them. And if we saw back here with Jesse Turner in the 17, he got involved here with looks like he's gonna... Oh, the 9 car, Bradley Bishop Jr. went wide, tried to come back on the track into Jesse Turner and Carson Scott. And this is seriously gonna bunch the field up in points. A lot of Chasers that were high in the points list are having problems today, and that is definitely not a good sign. You got guys like Fitzwater, James Silverfox, Jesse Turner, Jeff James, Luke Martin. They were all good coming in this race, and now they're having problems. And you have guys like Nick Mays, Eugene Max up there at the front who desperately needs these kind of runs. While everyone's having problems, Jacob Hart and Aaron Taylor run sort of near the mid part of the field there. They need some good runs here, but Taylor's sort of right there on the borderline. And with all these problems happening by the guys in front of him in points, it's going to help him. Jacob Hart is good in points right now. To say you're good in points is not by much there. You're going to need to have a huge margin here. He's good by about 15 to 20 points here, and having a solid outing right now. But you got guys like Jordan Davis who are outside the cut line coming in this race, having a good running right now. Inside the top 15 would need a better run than he is, but it's a lot better than what everyone else is having, wrecking out and all that. Eugene Max in 13th right now. It's a good run for him. California is next, and we know that is not a very good race to bet on and to try and get yourself in, because that track could be random at times. Jeffrey Lynn's in 4th, DJ Curtis in 3rd. Right now, the front runners are still Nick Mays trying to run down Richard Johnson. Another similar wreck would happen in the S-Bend here. Cody Lamas is going to slide wide, just like Luke Martin did into Charles Sanford, and they went around, and they were having good runs there. So Lamas and Sanford was. Pollard the third, not Pollard the third, William Brock. Oh, man, Cody Lamas right up in a Zebulon Stark and Malik Nevins. Sean Gallagher's in it. Jeffrey Finn guy had to whoa up there. Man, and is any chasers involved? There's Noah Hart getting by. A lot of dirt getting picked up. James Silverfox had to whoa up there in the 28 car. Silverfox comes in this race. He's somewhat good on points, but he's still really far back here. Man, the points are really going to shake up here. Crazy, crazy race right now going on. Levi Pascoe, Zachary Fitzwater, they were having terrible races at the very start here. And at the start of the race, they were at the rear of the field. People were probably counting them out. But here they are having some decent outings right now. They're out here in the middle part of the field, but there's a lot of good cars that were higher than them in points that are behind them and in the running order right now. And I'm telling you, Levi Pascoe, Zachary Fitzwater, they are crawling their way through the chase right now, having good outings here. And I expected Levi Pascoe to be out of the championship hunt before we got to the round of 12. It's the round of 12 now, and Levi is looking like he could possibly move on to the round of 8 here. Malik Nevins was leaving pit road here in the 22 car, and he collected Nick Puricles, who was having a solid day in 14th. And bad luck catches up with everybody, I suppose, and he got into Nick Puricles, and Puricles decides to stop and to wait on the other guys to go by. Richard Johnson is losing some ground to Nick Mays here. Mays is trying to get up there to the Richard Johnson, trying to run him down. Last time was 2 seconds for Mays, and Mays cut about a second on Richard that lap there. And if he can do that again, cut a little bit into him, he will get there. DJ Curtis has been challenging Nick Mays for the second spot, trying to get to him, but has not been able to make any passes on him. It's been hard to get around him, but Nick is trying to close on the King, Richard Johnson. Richard has won a lot of races in the series. For the majority of the time in the series, Richard was the most winning driver of the series here. But Richard, his last win came in season 18 at Las Vegas, and that was his 23rd career win. And that was a long time ago. That was over 2 seasons ago, and that was back in 2014. This is at the end of 2016, and Richard is holding Nick Mace now at bay. Mace is now past Richard Johnson for the most winning driver list. Mace has 26 wins in his career now. Richard has 23, and Richard is looking at his final season, his final hurrah, maybe at Sonoma here. Can he pull it off? He's got Nick Mace there, but it's going to have to be a miracle, I believe, because Richard Johnson and Nick Mace drive basically the same race cars here. It's going to be about who drives the best and who doesn't make a mistake. And Richard, he has the experience, and I don't believe he will make any mistakes. They have about the same engine package and same cars, because that's a Mace Enterprises cars leading and a Mace cars trying to track them down. So it'll be hard for Mace, but Richard Johnson, anybody would probably be happy to see Richard win here. His final season here, he only has, after this race, he'll only have 5 more races until his final season and his final ride. Richard looking to go back to victory lane one last time, and looking like he might be able to do it there. He might be able to end a winless drought that he has not been able to end in such a long time here. Battle for the, I think, 4th position. Yeah, Sean Perkins is trying to go underneath of Jeffrey Lynn here. It's been hard to make some passes here. You can see how it's hard. Perkins tried to make it work, but he really couldn't get around Lynn. Lynn had to drive off and wasn't able to do anything with him. The next chaser behind Mace is Eugene Max in 10th, then Jordan Davis in 12th, Jacob Hart in 13th, and 15th is Aaron Taylor. But up front, Nick Mace has not been able to make up much ground on Richard Johnson. Mace is looking to try and win and advance into the next round, but Richard has probably the best car here. And Richard Johnson looking to go back to victory lane. Richard trying to end the drought here. The winless drought he has not been able to overcome all year, last 2 years. And Richard trying to bring this Mace Enterprises car to victory lane here. All the Mace cars have won this season. All of them have, except Richard. Richard has not won. Nick Mace put Richard in his car because he thought having Richard in his car, that would be a good pair right there. All champions in the team here. It's proved that Mace Enterprises have been the best team this year. And all of them have won and done very, very well. All of them are in the chase except Richard Johnson. Richard did not make the chase. He did not have a win, and he did not run well enough in points there. Richard has struggled to find his footing. He has struggled to be as dominant as he was earlier in his career. But Nick Mace, I'm sure he'll be happy enough to come home second today, second behind Richard Johnson. And he's going to see Richard, and he's going to put him back in victory lane, putting him in his race car here. Richard Johnson is going to go back to victory lane in the Sony Cup Series in his final season. Richard Johnson comes to the line. Richard wins at Sonoma. Second goes to Nick Mace, and the fourth place goes to Jeffrey Lynn. He holds off Sean Perkins, and Dylan Young also holds off Dylan Young, Dylan Young actually holds off Eric Burton right there for the 6th position. Alec Cavanaro, what a good run he did. Ryan Acosta, last week's winner, did a good job to get another top 10. Eugene Max, a solid outing here. That'll probably be good enough if he has a solid day at California. Jordan Davis in 12th. Matthew Rodriguez in 11th. Chaser Jacob Hart, another good run there. Andreas Allen, a solid day, 14th. Aaron Taylor, a chase contender there, 15th for him. But a lot of chasers did not have any good runs. Zachary Fitzwater, it could have been a lot worse for him and Levi Pasco. They managed and had a lot of luck on their side and had chasers have bad runs here today. Noah Hart had a bad run there. James Silverfox in 27th, not the day he needed there. Luke Martin did not need that as well. A lot of chasers had problems today. But, again, it was another non-chaser that went to victory lane. No chasers have won in this round yet. As we head to California, no chaser is safe heading in to California. Nobody is for sure that they can make it to the round of 8 right now. But Richard Johnson is going to come away with the victory, and he's going to get his 24th career victory of the Sony Cup Series. How about that for Richard Johnson? He has done so much for this team, and it's just unbelievable. And Richard, the Season 1 and Season 5 champion of the series, finally gets back to victory lane, is on top yet again. Congratulations to him, and let's get you to our finishing results and standings after round 31.